Hi, I'm Alan Ross. I'm here at the IEEE PES T&D, that's a lot of acronyms, conference. This is the 2020 version that is actually being held in 2022. These interviews that we're conducting is with thought leaders on the future of the power industry. So enjoy. My guest for this segment is Javiera McGuiggan, who I absolutely adore interviewing. She was with Cargill. She specializes in the FR3 division of growing that, correct?
Yeah.
You see that on her nice green shirt. If it were Irish Day, it would be perfect. But, thank you.
St. Patty's.
It's St. Patty's Day. Thank you for doing that for all the women at Cargill and not putting them in men's shirts to do that. That's
absolutely.
Great. But thank you, my dear, for being here. I told her yesterday, so I got to tell the audience this. Whatever perfume you're wearing is enticing. Now, I won't tell you where we go with that, but that's it. Thank you for doing that.
It's part of the charm.
But it's the charm and the brains. That's what makes it work. Javi, I want to talk about, because we're going to come back to a lot of the things about FR3, but I want you to talk about the industry as a whole. You've been doing this long enough now to see the problems that are in the industry.
Yep.
The opportunities. I love a problem disguised as an opportunity disguised as a problem.
How do we get out of it?
What are the challenges? What are the good things that are happening? What are the things that we've got to be aware of to take advantage of? But looking ahead, take your crystal ball and tell us what you see.
I've been polishing my crystal ball a lot lately because the world is changing at a pace that was never seen before in this industry, I feel. The thing that is on top of our minds every day, I feel, in the transformer world is just supply chain, the lack and availability of everything, the price increases of everything. And none of us like those price increases because we are in a world of trying to change people to a new solution. And that's already a challenge, education and getting out of that fear of change. On top of that, you add the instability of supply chain, availability of resources, of steel, copper, oils, everything. So I feel that the biggest topic now for people is this reliability of supply chain, getting access to your things, the long lead times of everything. That's definitely a top of mind. Maybe secondly, I would say for me, thankfully, that the sustainability conversation is way more serious now. Yeah. It's not just a nice to have. It's every company has it on their website, stated as a need and a commitment. And we are a tool to help in that. So that conversation, it just feels different. It's more of a conscious push than a just nice to have, but what else do you have?
So because we've had a couple of conversations with transformer manufacturers, both of whom mentioned the fact that supply chain is really, really difficult. For FR3, for Cargill, you've got a global footprint, so you can do things that others can't quite do. When you say supply chain, is it supply chain problems that you're seeing? Or is it the fact that you're providing for an industry that said, hey, we're 60 weeks out?
They're 2 weeks out delivery for a single phase in some of these companies. It's mostly the industry. I have, luckily, the issues that we're going through is sometimes lack of availability of trucks and totes or drums, like shipping equipment. Oil, thankfully not, because Cargill owns so much of the oil supply, and we control all the supply chain. And like you said, we have plants everywhere. So I've been able to have a very steady and good supply. If I have in any way had any issues, it's been with trucks and delivery items. But I know from all of my customers that they're almost saying, I can't handle new orders. They're out of capacity. They're out of labor shortages. So in our case, it's only been seeing that reflected from our customers saying we can't handle any more orders. So we're growing, but they're a little restricted for growth. Yeah,
you need more transformer manufacturers.
That make more transformers faster.
That's an interesting part of the supply chain. As you build up to be able to serve an industry, and then their end of the supply chain changes. And we support the TMAA, which is the Transformer Manufacturers of America Association. And one of the things we pushed for was a letter to the Department of Energy to create more grain-oriented steel, because that's what you need for transformers. And there's only one plant in the United States. It's at capacity. And we're saying this ought to be a national thing, because you know where the rest of it comes from? It comes from India and China. And that's not going to happen. So. It's just very, solving those problems is going to be unique. Talk about the problems that you solve through FR3.
Like you said, everything has this positive spin.
Yeah.
So what has happened to us is if now transformer makers align more with us in the full proposition of you can make a unit smaller and get more power out of it, lighter, more efficient, etc., you're actually saving copper, steel, like the big ingredients that sum up that bill. If you do a specially efficiently smarter design transformer, you're helping yourself in that whole thing, in cost, in accessibility to the materials. So we're really working close to our good partner OEMs on that special design push, and that's been our biggest advantage.
Also, if partnership going with somebody here special that you could.
We have a partnership that we want to share a message to the world of heat specifically. Exactly. Higher capacity comes with a little bit of higher heat that transformers work on, and the industry thinks heat is bad. So with DuPont, we want to spread the message that between their high heat paper and our FR3 high heat capacity fluid, you can have a great solution where you get more capacity out of a unit, and heat is not a bad thing if it's managed correctly with the people that know how to manage it. So taking away that fear out of heat, for sure.
And heat comes for a lot of instances, the heat comes because of the incredible differences of load. Load is the big problem of the power industry.
The variability.
Yeah, the variability of load. And in that variability creates transients. And in those transients, you get higher heat. Yes. Higher heat then destroys transformers faster. Normally. So
attacks the solid insulation, which is how they
and you either build it bigger to handle all that heat, and if you've got 1,000 volts,
or you build it better.
Or you build it different.
Yes.
Better and different.
Yeah.
That's a fascinating solution. I love the fact that two of you are working
together. Also, in a time
when
when people are struggling to even get transformers delivered, you can do a retrofill into FR3, and you extend the life of your assets for longer. So you have that capacity of keeping them working for a bit more.
You're just going right down, because that was my next question. There's an installed base. We're all struggling to get all these transformer manufacturers.
Switch the oil and you get a couple more years out of it.
Let's talk about the installed base. How do you address the installed base? Because people worry about the expense. They say, oh yeah, but it's expensive. It's not as expensive anymore as it used to be. I mean, and there are a lot of companies, I assume you work with, SD Myers, NAS, all of the companies that come in and do it, that are able to come in and retrofill transformer, at least Sunbelt.
We have partners. We expanded our network of partners that do these services and maintenance dramatically in the last 2 years to cover the whole U.S., to be very close. Because in those, you need the hand power to be right where the transformers are.
Right.
And every utility and most companies, they have these partners that they've worked with all their life. They trust their transformers to these companies. So we needed all of them to trust FR3 and be our partner. Yeah. So we've expanded that network dramatically. And we keep saying, like, since COVID, it's the year of the retrofill, because just switch the oil and you get all the benefits and you extend the life a little, especially important when you can't get deliveries. So.
Right. Well, are you part of the decarbonization movement?
I don't know if officially Cargill signed up
but you got
it,
is it better than you're getting away from mineral oil.
We're getting away from petroleum, from chemicals, so anything that could in any way damage the earth. We're getting away from.
So I now dub you part of the decarbonization solution.
Less carbon emissions, less greenhouse gases. You're comparing petroleum to a plant, a vegetable. Like, I struggle with this battle a lot when people try to parade the biodegradable around. Like, what can be more biodegradable than a plant? There's just no discussion. We still have to prove it, but...
I really hope you start making FR3 out of squash, because I hate squash, okay? I mean, you happen to make it out of products that I like, but just get rid of the squash.
We can make it out of mostly anything, so I'll give it a try.
The earth produces plants. I want to talk about women.
Oh, okay.
We did a thing with you, I say we, APC Media did a thing with you on women in power systems, and we featured you, and you featured all of your staff. You have a special message and a special love for women in power systems and engineering. IEEE has Women in Power. Talk a little bit about that passion that you've got.
So it's been super rewarding lately, because thankfully it's more of a global push of how, not just because you're a woman, but any difference that you can bring, cultural, race, whatever it is, religion, you can still bring such high value. We feel that these pushes to hire minorities or women specifically can be seen as unfriendly for the people that are not used to the change. But I'm so proud of that. All the women that we have in our team, like they prove every day how great they are as talent, as skilled professionals. So it's just been a fantastic journey.
I feel like I know them because of the spread where Javiera had them, instead of just letting us have a picture of her, she had
But I had all of them in like a Vogue.
I know. It was
very elegant, beautiful.
We're talking about women in power, and I thought, whoa, these women have power.
You don't have to deny anything about being a woman to be valued just as you are anywhere in your profession based on your capacities. It doesn't mean I don't like wearing a dress and makeup and doing my nails. And you don't have to give away your identity to prove that you have the same skill set and capacity. And that, to me, is super important. I don't feel we need to deny who we are to be valued. And that's why I did like a Vogue, very feminine spread, which is not every woman.
No, that's true.
But that's who we wanted to be.
IEEE, APC Media, NETA, all of the organizations that we deal with, Eaton's got a wave, women adding value to Eaton. We see it there, and one of the things, as a man, I can tell you, we're ready to accept it. We've got so many graybeards that are retiring. We don't want them back. We want smart engineers to come in and replace those. So it is the time. STEM training, education at the very beginning level.
Mentoring, a lot of internal mentoring, and external. So internal, so people now see that more leadership roles in your company can be by women, and that's something you can aspire to. And how do you get there? But externally too. So like we spoke in that article, how do you get more women to even know, hey, the power industry is an industry that could be interesting for me when they hadn't thought of it before. Yeah,
we're trying to make the power industry desirable. That's not easy to do, Darth. That's not easy to do. Well, we're not trying to quite be, you guys can make it sexy. We're making it desirable. Okay, I want to switch gears. IEEE. Your organization has supported IEEE.
Deeply committed to it for years.
Talk about a few people.
So Kevin Rapp is our principal scientist. He's one of the inventors of FR3 that is still with us. President of every committee, leader of the changes, all of these standards that my team works on that then benefit everyone. Like I have a full dedicated staff led by Alan Spravati, who is also an active member in IEEE. President, secretary, active member of every committee, speaking today. And he leads a team globally of people involved in just influencing standards and educating the industry. That is super valuable to us because we really believe in the mission, but also we know everyone is getting this benefit, and it's something worth investing in because they're setting the standards and the right things to do for everyone to be safe and confident that these new technologies work properly, and to also treat them differently. Because Alan always says, and I love this phrase from him, he says, if you measure a fish by its capacity to climb a tree, it's a terrible animal. And a lot of those tests are built for 100 years for mineral oil. And you do the same test to FR3 or natural esters, and you might be, well, but this doesn't make sense. It's like, because you don't even need to measure that in FR3. That doesn't happen to FR3. So it's an education, it's a lot of influencing, but it's for the betterment of the industry. So we love all the work that we do at IEEE.
Excellent. I know Alan, I know Kevin, they are rock stars of IEEE. They represent you guys well. We thank you that you have them committed to supporting this and have done for years. You've helped change the industry as it relates to this mineral oil thing. And I'm a mineral oil guy. I've got it in my veins because that's what I started with. But I think I'm retrofilling. I think it's happening there.
We're retrofilling your veins with the green.
You must be doing it at
night. You'll be bleeding green pretty soon.
That's good. It has been a delight once again, Javiera. I really appreciate you doing this. Thank you so much, my dear.
Thank you so much.
Bye.